Hi everyone, welcome back, and hope you're doing well. And I just had a very interesting situation, but it's promising. Things are now working out, so I can explain it later. But here, this is for my cell group, for Marines, right, military. Semper Fidelis, Spiritus Sanctus, Christos, Sophia, Maria Magdalena, Fatima. As you know, we're healing our hologram. We're reclaiming our Christos mission, those star seeds who ended up in those black ops, dark projects, in DARPA, right? All these, SSP, right? The secret space program. Do I have it somewhere here? All these alien abduction, right? So we're healing from these alien implants and psychotronic weapons with all these psychotropic sprays, right? From all this mind control, we are hooked to Internet of all things, all this abuse, weaponization. We have the right wave frequency, the black cube technology of those negative aliens, okay, of DARPA, the fallen angelics, right, of the black dragon moth, of those reptilians of the negative faction, of the archons, right? We have the Chimera group and the Orion group. This is very important, the Black Sun operations or the Belial Sun, okay? So there are lots of actually factions even in the elite, right? One of them, Mossad, the Zionists, they're actually fighting among each other, but their base is satanic Luciferian, okay? And we are dismantling the entire matrix, and we're exposing everything, bring everything to the light. We are the star seeds here, born in these bloodlines, and I'm on a Christos mission. That's a project for DARPA. I'm extension from the Ashtar galactic domain. This is the Krystal Star project from Andromeda, okay, the Aurora races, and they're helping with the transformation and with the transition, right? My soul group, the Marines, like I said, who ended up in those extremely dark places and terroristic organization, being damaged, being weaponized, being raped, violated, tortured, seduced, all this seduction and all these sex games in a military, right? So that needs to be arrested, and desecration of the divine feminine. Through embracing our divine feminine, then we can resurrect the divine masculine, the military, right? The masculine merging back with the divine feminine here in the heart, in that 0 point, especially that's the A chakra. That's your sacred chakra with your threefold founder flame, right? So this is how we are bringing the cosmic energy, the Rishi energy here back online through this portal, okay, through our vessel, right? That's why this is the spiritual boot camp here, because those guys ended up in that, like I said, the fallen tree of life, the fallen Merkaba, okay? And so their body became a portal vessel for entity possessions, the black hole entities with their black hole technologies, right? With tears in their aura energy field, the weaponization of burning of their aura, and damaging of their DNA, the damaging of their bioneurology, right? There is dark portal access here. That's pretty much between the solar plexus and the heart, okay? So this power issues, okay? So here we chant the lam bam ram, for the solar plexus. That's the bija mantra, ram ram ram. Okay, so here we're resurrecting our chakra portals, because this is how those negative aliens through us, star seeds, indigo warriors, and through Marines and the Pleiadians and the Rosicrucians, this is how they're getting to these extremely high frequency vibrations, and we are the batteries for those negative ones, right? And then the Marines are executing the agenda of those negative aliens, the Nazism 4.0. And here, if people don't understand the energy behind it and the agenda of those negative aliens and exopolitics, that looks like that those guys are involved in horrible crimes. And of course, they're doing it because their body became then the house of demons, right? They've been demonized, desecrated, weaponized, and so on. So we are recognizing all that. I'm recognizing it because it happened to me. It's through my direct experiences, and I had to study all that. I had to heal myself. I had to pretty much put all the pieces, all these fragmentations, back into my perfect alignment with the law of one and being of service. So I know that you know, this is kind of the path cutter, the guiding light for my cell group, right? And yeah, I'm help here. The Ashtar is helping with all that. You know, we're the Ashtar Galactic Command, and helping those who were in the elite, helping the elite, the Hydra, right? You know, the Zionists, you know, the Mossad, the terrorists, the terroristic organizations, right? Just helping them with their rehabilitation of their consciousness hologram, their DNA, right, via bioregenesis. So their holistic technology, beautiful beaming energies. I mean, that's frequencies. That's what I've experienced. And for me, background is yoga, Ayurveda. So 12D shielding, unity vow, unity meditation, you know. So this has been my drill. So this is a spiritual ascension, spiritual boot camp, okay? And so this is how we overcome, how we free ourselves from that MK Ultra, right? And heal our pain body, and how we become again free and happy, the spiritual warriors, okay, the defenders of truth and divine justice, the reconnecting with our true essence, who we truly are. So welcome again, you know, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Again, this is kind of harsh maybe topic for most of people, but don't understand, this is military, okay? And this is my soul group, and this is who Ashtar's family, right? So this is kind of yeah, this is kind of where I'm coming from. And yeah, the antidote to mind control is actually psycho-emotional centering. So I just wanted to guys let you know that everything for the healing, those who really experience all this abuse and trauma-based mind control. And here we talk about also why we talk about the psychopathy and what is happening in the military, how those guys are being treated, right? Or what is the egotism, narcissism, right? Nazism, and so on, right? When we are unchecked and we're constantly pathologically lying, and how those guys are, the subliminal messages, how they are being programmed, how they are really being tortured, right? And then there are just, it's direct programming, and they're just running the Armageddon software program, pestilence programming, okay, without even their informed consent, without even recognizing it, okay? So they're like automatons, like I said, walking out on the battlefield, executing the agenda of those negative aliens, the Nazism 4.0. So all this impulsivity, right? And then of course you don't want to be responsible. That's called the ego, that's the ego defense mechanism, and so on. But that's why we talk about, you know, how do you recognize these kind of what is the clinical profile of psychopathic behavior, right? There's a book, The Mask of Sanity, from Harvey Shackley. So we talk about it, so you can check that. And of course, you know, the sexual life, how it's all promiscuous, it's impersonal, it's just trivial and very poorly integrated, okay? So that's why, you know, we are again preserving our sexual energies, we're healing our kundalini, your sacrum, that's your second chakra, and of course reconnecting with Mother Earth, Mother Nature. That's how we are bringing the first chakra online, because these guys in their anti-life, anti-Christ bodies, they've been actually severed from that first chakra, right? So everything is in that 2D, your sexual chakra, and instead of you being in your power, there is the portal for the possession of dark forces, right? And that this is, and there are other, you know, dimensions, chakras, you know, being totally shattered, scattered, and of course, you know, they exhibit all kinds of, you know, horrible behaviors, impulses, right? They cannot control, and they're on drugs, medications, you know, steroids, and they have all kinds of addictions controlled by AI. They are hooked to the Nephilim reversal grid, right? So again, I represent also the Oraphim, the cosmic angels, the indigo, right? And then the Nephilim, those are the hybrid Anunnaki here mixing with the earth humans. And you know, so that's why we are repairing the and healing ourselves from that alien machinery, right? The psychotropic weapons, psychotronic weapons. The silent war is actually waging, is going on, those who understand energies, right? So even though, you know, I experienced like I said, with the neighbor, with the lights, right? So I boarded my windows, but still the blue light, the frequency, there was the false, I mean, the radiation still was happening, even though you know, my room was pretty much black, right? But you know, if you're already ascended, and of course if you go, if you experience military abductions and all these horrible torture, right? If you had your SARS, that's the camera SARS CoV-2, which HIV sequences totally polluted your chakras, your cerebrospinal fluid, right? With all these alien implants, I had candida, you know, yeast infection on the skin, rashes, I mean, just horrible pain also in my you know, chest area, right? And you know, so the sensitivity is now so huge to everything, to every frequency vibration, to people, what they say and what they do and so on. So you make sure you have your 12D shielding. Yeah, the Ascension protocol that's on my website, 12D Ascension protocol from Guardians. So very important to really take care of yourself, love yourself, forgive yourself, you know, and just be compassionate witness, okay? Which is the antidote to all this psychopathy and being dissociative, right? So there's so much power abuse going on, and in the political arena, again, talk about military, right? This whole narcissistic manipulative behavior is happening. And that is found in the cult environment. So Skull and Bones, the Totenkopf, the Schwarzwald, the Schwarze Sonne, you know, the Black Sun, the Nazi occultism from Bavaria as well, right? Connected to the Tuban system or to the Orion, the kind of the Draco constellation. But that's all been now kind of, you know, it's under the guardianship, under the Aerial Order, you know, because the cosmic Christos Solar Rishis, they are here, and we have the a guardian project, Crystal Star project for a military, for DARPA, for my cell group, for veterans, for Hydra, for Marines. Okay, Semper Fidelis, Spiritus Sanctus, Christos, SOPHIA, Maria Magdalena, Fatima, Rosa, Mystica, right? So buying ourselves flowers, you know, roses, the Rosetta, that's the rose breath from that Rishi Resha consciousness. We work with the, you know, Rishi consciousness, right? It's coming here online. Those are the ascended masters, Yanas, okay? And we're helping with the rehabilitation, you know, of consciousness of the sound field. That's the Rasha body, right? With the Karayasata Allah, that's the 7 original tones, Karayasata Allah, right? Chanting and so on. That's found on crystal ages, energetic synthesis, Heroes Gamos, right? Those are the 2 triangles. This one is masculine, this one is feminine, right? Interwoven together. And this is how we are. That's the Heroes Gamos inner balancing, right? Through that 0-point divine neutrality, God matrix, the source of our genesis, when we're simple, humble, right? We are dying deep within, we are forgiving. Forgiveness is so important, and we are compassionate with everything that happened to us. So no more revenge, but here's rehabilitation, right? And looks like I may even go to 10-day retreat center. It's like 2.5 hours from here, with no access to cell phones, nothing. So again, for experience, see if I can get those 10 days, or at least for a week. I don't know if I can interrupt that course. Yes, okay, I heal from all these EMS and from people with all these addictions. And it's just very sad to see how, you know, this kind of the matrix, how, you know, people got caught up in it, how they believed in the government, in the external, what people were saying, and instead of diving deep within and reconnecting with your divine spark, you know, it doesn't cost anything. It's just really loving yourself, or tapping the K27, and here's your AD, that's your sacred chakra, and breathing. Right? It's just feeling the difference. Okay, so it's really not a big deal. And maybe trying to fast, drinking distilled water, right? We talk about the diet, so important. 8 steps of yoga, writing, you know, you're writing down your feelings, your emotions, you know, your thoughts, right? Just kind of thoughts that are constricting you, thoughts that are expanding your consciousness. Okay, so doing journaling and writing down your dreams. Again, those past 3 days, I couldn't really dream. I couldn't really connect to my cosmic spirit body, or to my cosmic, you know, energies. Okay, so I just kind of been, you know, just kind of doing my best, and even going to work kind of being drained. But when I go to the beach, I have these beautiful, actually just short videos I can upload maybe before the sunrise and the sun, and with these energies, oh my goodness, with the frequency vibration, I mean the golden age, right? This it's here, you know, these energies are here. If we're tuning into these energies and doing also the energy hygiene, if we're in that the frequency of love, then everything is possible, right? So we're the system busters, the renegades, yeah, the change makers. I mean, so miracles happening, miracles happening. So I didn't know whether I was going to, how long I'm going to burn myself here in this room, being microwaved. I don't know for how long, but I saw that neighbor, and I kind of nicely asked him, please either turn it off or buy the, you know, that bulb with less voltage, because I was microwaved here. And again, people don't know that. They think, oh, it's just the light, you know, and it's too bright. No, no, no. It affects your aura, energy field. It drains your energy. It's very vampiristic. It's very parasitic. Okay, and we here, the star said we came here to help people, and you know, I'm helping my soul group to get out of that parasitic, vampiristic system. Okay, and especially in the military, they use intimidation, right? So time to love yourself and time to build your self-esteem and start really remember who you are, right? So they want to feel you afraid, and you know, you kind of ask them for safety. Here, the kingdom of heaven is within. Okay, now you know we have a Christos family here, the Ashtar Galactic Command, the Crystal Star family from Andromeda, the Aurora, right? They're hosting this ascension. Pleiadians, Arcturians, Syrians, benevolent ETs, right? So diving deep within, being simple and humble, asking for help, asking for, you know, reconciliation, right? And being simple and modest. Okay, so very simple living but high thinking, right? And these healing energies are coming online. So I experience it all the time, you know. Then you're being protected, you're being healed, right? You know, and so when you activate your chakras, activate your DNA, this is like you're being in that Lemurian healing chambers, right? These are like the med beds. We'll talk about the med beds and so on. This is just the activation of your light body, activation of your aura, activation, or you know, kind of activating your third eye, decalcifying the pineal gland, okay, and rewiring the subconscious mind from all these here, you know, the pestilence programming, the gorilla programming, right? From that Armageddon software, right? And saying positive affirmations. Saying, you know, I'm a being, or I'm a marine, a wildfire. I am the purity God desires, right? I'm beautiful, I'm bountiful, I'm blissful, okay? So, and not to be intimidated anymore, okay? And again, God's sovereignty boundaries. So no more abuse on those military bases, especially those connected to alien bases. The Nibiru, right? The net, the Nibiru electrostatic transductions, and the moon, that's the false magnetism from those lunar forces there. The moon chain lineages, right? You know, the archons, the Chimera group from the Visa system, Visa deck, Visa drag, you know, that's all being addressed with their beast machine technology and all this sex addiction, in sex games, and you know, the Bethaman network and all these SRA, satanic ritual abuses, and all this sworn to secrecy, the blood covenant, soul binding, right? SOS, that's what we're here on recon mission. Call upon your soul, right? Free yourself from that possession, free yourself from all these soul bindings, free ourselves from that MK Ultra, right? And from that slavery, the astral slavery, right? We had astral reconstruction. That's why the violet flame, or the pink color, okay, the Rasha Bali, the sound, we talk about the sound bath healing, listening to solfeggio tones, 432 hertz, right? Everything is available. That's why we want to bring, you know, also this, you know, you have to, in a healthy environment, being in nature, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, right? Gaia, she's ascending, so she's helping with all that, okay? And we're surrounded by these beautiful beaming energies of, you know, Pleiadians, of good ETs, extraterrestrials, and even from our solar rishi. Okay, they are able to come to these dimensions because we set everything, right? The transharmonic universe, the transharmonic portals, the cosmic portals, all being safeguarded, protected, and we have the diamond heart grid, right? And activating our diamond sun DNA or ruby sun DNA, emerald sun DNA, and for the fallen seraphim, right, the fallen angelics, you know, for DARPA, for these kind of Anunnaki, right, for them is the golden sun DNA via the golden template, right, so with the spiral, with the crystal spiral crystal architecture. So, you know, it's all about the intention, all about, you know, choosing love, choosing peace, reconciliation, right, being simple, humble. Of course, you know, the ego needs to drop, so, you know, they have to admit horrible things being done, you know, whether, you know, with they did or through them, right, all kinds of satanic possessions and so on, or, you know, alien possessions. So it's all about being true to ourselves, be honest, and be transparent, and be in integrity, right? So, and it takes time, because running reversals, being in that black goo, electrostatic bodies, it's so much confusion, so much chaos of that black subtle forces. We have to heal ourselves, because the Rasha body, I mean the dark matter, has been infiltrated, right, via those negative alien technology, the black hole technology. We've been here negatively polarized here in this duality, okay? So we really need to forgive ourselves. And if we study the agenda of those negative aliens, right, what's been done to us, right, so we can forgive ourselves and be compassionate with everything what happened. So instead of, again, retaliation, right, here's rehabilitation, you know, calming down, breathing, tapping, all is fine. You know, this was an experiment. It was a horrible experiment. So many souls, you know, lost their lives, and all this soul fragmentation, right, happening, you know. So that's why, you know, those guys, you know, of course, they're being diagnosed, you know, not being narcissistic, right? It's narcissism, schizophrenia, dissociative disorder, personality, sociopathy, and so on, lack of empathy, right? So that's why we have to clear the negative ego, right? 3 layers of that first universal triad. That's the 1, 2D chakras dimensions, okay? Because that's all been weaponized and running reversals, right? From that 10D, the Metatronic reversals. So, but again, sharp energetic synthesis, like Lisa Renee, she's got all the material to clear all that. And so no more intimidation, no more guilt, blame, and shame, okay? You need to start trusting yourself, loving yourself, feeling your true divine essence. And all this emotional abuse, right? So lots of guys, the Pleiadians, or the sexuality, especially also guys in the military here in the United States, I noticed they're extremely emotional, right? So I don't know whether it has to do with the cancer running through United States, the cancer, the zodiac, right? But, you know, things are changing. We have the galactic one, right? So lots of like a family orientation into family. So Ascension is the 99% emotional healing. So be comfortable with your emotions, be comfortable with your soul, be comfortable with your divine feminine energies, right? So because in the military, it's all being perverted, and it's all being sabotaged and desecrated, right? If some guy wanted to heal, right, wanted to maybe some you know, sees somebody for healing and so on, so those guys were laughed at, and even they experienced horrible things, right? They were abused even more, right? And if they want to really speak their truth, and, you know, Congress, you know, and so on, so there was so much retaliation. So those guys, they really now, they need lots of healing, they need lots of help. Because, you know, the elite also needs to come down, right? The Mossad, the Zionists, and of course I'm dealing with the you know, the Orion group, or the Black Sun operations, right? Yeah, the whole swastika, yeah, the Nazi party, the Nazi occultism, and the sexism, and all this pornography, child sex trafficking, and, you know, Belial Sun, you know, those are the hybrid Anunnaki, fallen angelics, right? The rogue Anunnaki, the rogue Pleiadians in DARPA. And you know, my soul group, whether they're Rosicrucians, Pleiadians, right, they ended up under, you know, underneath all that, they became the slaves, or, you know, the DARPA owns them, you know. But that's why here you need to know your rights. We're changing everything, we're bringing everything right side up, we're doing all this correction, all this healing, all this transformational work. So, and you so, just loving yourself, or respect yourself. We have your God sovereignty boundaries. Okay, I'm God, I'm sovereign, I'm free, right? Start living in peace and harmony, and start balancing your energies, your divine feminine, divine masculine. Very important. Balancing the left hemisphere from the right hemisphere of the brain. We talk about the mental rigidity, right? How that is connected to psychopathy. Start chanting, singing, drumming, shamanism, coloring, playing a music. Okay, so just go to nature, buy yourself flowers. Okay, and of course the diet, how the diet is extremely important. So the emotional, right, the abuse, it's horrible. All this the blackmail, especially the whole kind of Zionist faction there, the what is it, the black net, right? All this blackmailing, and yeah, the whole cult, and what else we talk about, the elite, how that needs to stop. It needs to be arrested, and they need to be rehabilitated. So time to again believe in yourself, love yourself, raise your frequency vibration, raise your self-esteem and self-confidence. Okay, yeah, because all these was it the character assassination and all these mind games, all these sex games, all these gaslighting and humiliation, those guys experiencing humiliation, and they dehumanize them, whether by the elite, right, the high echelon, by the controlling groups, by those negative aliens on those alien bases, moon, Mars, right? We talk about the planetary corporation. So this is a huge big operation like we are talking about. Okay, but again, I'm focusing again on my project, the bloodline, on also the Hebrew, right, from Nibiru, and DARPA and so on, and my soul group. Okay, so that's the Marine, and here that's Ashtar family. You're the Ashtar extension. We're the ground crew. So, and the military, they're also using coercion, all these threats, right, of whether bodily harm, and even killing, destruction, and all this suicide. How many guys actually, to me, through electronic implants, right, whether it was done to them, right, via voice to skull technology, V2K, okay, all these was it the syndrome, Havana syndrome, right, and or they just couldn't handle. There was just too much coercion, too much corruption, too much abuse, too much violation, right? So that's that we're arresting all these energies, right? The sodomy, right? The SRA, the Illuminati parties. So we're arresting all that, and yeah, all these manipulations and so on, and that's called deny, reverse, victim, and offender. So that's what I kind of been experiencing here. This being a negative, polarized, you're trying to do good, you're a good person, and you're being taken as a horrible person and being taken advantage of, right? And those so-called in power just saying horrible things about us, where the star seeds are trying to make a difference. Those, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't watch porn, I'm not even interested in all this promiscuity and nothing like that, right? So on all this sex game, right? And then it's because it was projection of that, and they are kind of superimposing, those negative ones, or the elite, right, superimposing their karma upon star seeds, who are born in these lineages, but we're here to make a difference. So it's again, it's not practical to do this anymore, because now things are backfiring, right? We see who you are, where you are. There's so much light shining bright. The cosmic energies are here, the plasma light frequency, the Holy Mother, Divine Mother, right? These energies are here through the Sophianic lineages. Here are the Yanas, the Ascended Masters, the Rishi Resha consciousness, okay? And we're reporting everything to Andromeda, and everything is going to cosmic justice. Justice will be served, Satya Sai Baba, right? That's cosmic Christ, that's my Holy Father. So, and I received message when I was 7 years old. We're going back to God, we're going back to Cosmos, the divine original blueprint, no more detour, and here we go. So very important really to appreciate yourself, and to respect yourself, and start believing in yourself, and again trusting the divine, trusting and connecting to the divine spark within the sacred chamber of the heart. And they also use isolation, those you know, who were abducted, right? Military abduction, SSP, with all these CCP jets, all these experimentations, right? They want us to be then homeless. They totally destroy our lives, right? Totally, you know, what is it? There's so much electronic harassment, right? They don't want us to survive. They don't want us to speak our truth, right? That's why we talk about the 5D, how in those reversals, metric reversals, when we start speaking our truth with loving kindness, that's how we start healing ourselves, okay? From all these harassments and from all this abuse, yeah? And, you know, the terroristic organizations from the Nazism 4.0, okay? So, and, you know, things start coming online, and with me also the tantric yoga, right? The lam, bam, ram, yam, hum, om. The sound bath healing, you know, how that is very important to reverberate the energies within you and get your meridians going and flowing, and your exotonal lines. Okay, those are vertical lines that are connected to your chakras, to your meridians. Okay, so here we talk about the divine feminine, right? That's the 4, 7, 10, 1, 5. This is counterclockwise rotation, the divine feminine, right? So these are the chakras dimensions on your left hand and right hand. That's the masculine, that's running clockwise, right? And this is the 3, 6, 9, and this is the, I think it's 2, 8 dimensions, right? So and when you bring these energies together, namaste, right? This is also how you activate your Hara line, 11 and 12 dimension, up and down. So very simple, practical practices here. That's from Heroes Gamos, Crystal Ages. You can actually download the entire manual from Lisa Rene, her energetic synthesis, and you can start your own individual ascension, transformation, Heroes Gamos, right? Start feeling your true divine nature. Those who were, you know, either abducted in these black ops, who are Starseeds, Indigo Warriors, or my soul group, right? So start transforming your life and start feeling lighter and lighter. And then, of course, all these blame and all these denial and all these kind of conveniently changing the narrative and pretend to forget what happened, right? So this is what I also experienced, not only military, but with people, with family and so on, people avoiding certain topics. They don't want to talk about it. But if we don't talk about it, then it grows, right? And becomes this huge big shadow. And then here in these energies, we have to transmute the shadow. So that's why we talk about the shadow work, and we train in dark arts, right? How important is to talk about the darkness, the negativity, at least register it, recognize it, right? And hold the fear in our hands, and feeling the pain body. Of course, there's a lots of pain. That's why, you know, people medicate themselves, or those guys are on medication, drugs, steroids, and so on, right? But again, being in that heart, in that loving connection, asking for help and asking for forgiveness, right? Miracles happen in these now transformative times with these beautiful energies coming online, okay? We are that 0 point divine neutrality. So this is kind of, I wanted to expand on that. And you know, the soul, there's the soul fragmentation, right? We kind of maybe next time mention that, and how unfortunately we have to heal ourselves from that what is it? That's the mind control machinery, the beast machine, the mainstream Satanism. I mean, all kinds of frequency guys going on. So when they fragment us, that's the negative entity attachments, right? You can read that as well, right? So it can be your homework here. And this is your mental anxiety. So many people, all this anxiety, depression, because we're disconnected from our true essence, or from our higher self, from our soul, from our oversoul, you know? So if we're connected to cosmic consciousness, to our source, if we're connected to our oversoul, to our monad, If we're connected to our soul, remember who we are. We're the light of the soul, and we're light. We're fasting or eating fruits and vegetables, organic, you know, or drinking distilled water, and we're reconnecting to Mother Earth, Mother Nature, right? So you start healing and reviving your energies, you know, your chakras, your meridians, your energy portals, right? And start feeling lighter and more happier from within, connecting again to that inner Christos. So because here's Ascension, plan B, okay? So, and the addictions then causes fragmentation, and how important to also embody the virtues, morals, and ethics. That's 8 steps of yoga, part of it. Yamas, niyamas, right? So walking with Christ, being simple, humble, right? The forgiveness, compassion, you know, speaking our truth with loving kindness, helping others, being of service, right? The unity consciousness is very important. Loving ourselves, loving others, loving Mother Earth, Mother Nature. This is how we're again building the temple, the spiritual temple, right? This is our spiritual house. This is our body. The body consciousness needs to be rehabilitated. It needs to be, you know, healed and transformed and recalibrated, because these guys, right, their body, they became a vessel for dark entities, possession, right? Became like a dark portals. That's why the dark avatars, right? So time to reconnect also with our Christos avatar, the Christos, being the Christos Templars, the spiritual warriors, the defenders of truth and divine justice. So yeah, let me end this here. Yeah, we have to address our unhealed trauma, because that's what causes all these diseases, right? The addictive patterns and the unhealed trauma, right? We need to address that. We can then transmute it and merge it back to light and become integrated and keeping the wisdom, right? Why I'm teaching all these things, even though hardly anybody either understands that. Of course, there's denial, right? There's a lots of egotism going on. We have to build strong moral character. So important. You know, the ethics, morals, virtues, and so on, right? Because and being spiritual, this is strong. You know, we're spiritual beings having human experience, strong moral characters. This is how we overcome the beast machine. This is how we exit the matrix of the archons, right? The Chimera group. This is how we liberate ourselves from the MK Ultra, and this is how we release ourselves from that black goo, from all these nanobots, right? All these alien implants, holographic inserts, okay, and become really free. But really, the ego, right, that needs to drop. Right? Whether, you know, you're the elite, the Marine, you know, the DARPA, the Mossad, you know, the Anunnaki, the Draco, and so on, right? That ego needs to drop. And I understand, like, the self-justification, you want to protect yourself, but we are your heart. We are Holy Mother, Divine Mother, ROSA Mystica. Okay, not again through ego and denying and just being again abusive, right? And addictions and entities and steroids and all this mental racketeering, and you know, we have to control our mental triggers and all this impulsiveness, right? So I'll thank you, right? You know, I register it. I'm being triggered, right? There's a fear coming online. There's a pain coming online, right? So kind of embracing it, holding the fear in our hand, right? And slowly and surely also befriending ourselves with the fear, because it's teaching our lessons, right? We came also here to learn our lessons and to expand our consciousness and to forgive ourselves, especially those born in these very troubled Saturnian lineages, okay? And yeah, this kind of the hybrid Anunnaki bloodline, okay? So, and so we can ascend, or we can finally feel our true divine essence. We can be free and happy and enjoy our family, because, you know, I have family, I have children, I have a daughter, and also, and I have a project. So, you know, time to also reconnect, reunite. That's part of the Galactic Codex, right? The law of grace. To really, we have the right for ascension. right for liberation, right to be free and happy and abundant, and right to connect, reconnect with our soul family, a galactic family, a star family, and so on. And also we have the right to know our true original cosmic galactic earth history. And you know where to find all that, right? Energetic synthesis, Eros Gamos, Elisa Rene, and so on. I've been sharing this information for quite some time. Or also Yana from her books, okay, the Guardian Materials. And I'll talk to you next time. Many blessings and namaste. Bye bye.